Hey Gabe, Patrick here with Drive Interactive Group. Just want to say thanks for reaching out on my Facebook post about your free website audit. So I got your website up here, so let's dive in. First thing I want to do is kind of talk about some of the good things that you have going on that I see on your website. So first, let's talk about you got your logo up here. I think that's great. You always want to make sure that you have your brand out there. Maybe making it a little bit bigger so people can kind of read it, or maybe even removing this marvelous works portion of it and just having that might be good. But as we scroll down, you have a sale here on here, which I think is great. But you might want to maybe elaborate a little bit more on what that sale is. Um, so as we scroll down, you talk about some of the great things you have going on. You've got some awesome pictures in here. If this is actual work that you've done, man, these are phenomenal kitchens. They really are. So good job there. But you do have these before and after pictures, and big, tremendous difference to you, by the way. That's fantastic. So having some of those is great. Now you're going to come down to your story and talking about your story, and maybe I'd maybe delve in a little bit more and talk more about you. Try to get a little personal here, because you want to try to sell not only your company, but sell yourself and sell your story. Everybody has a story, and so you want to let people know about that. So we're talking here about cabinetry. Looks like you list basically kind of all the services that you do provide. I would elaborate a little more, maybe write some actual content that includes these keywords, because that's just, I mean, only going to help you with your rankings. So when it comes to Google, content's king is basically what Google says, and they have said that for many years. So having more content and more keywords in place, I think that's going to be really beneficial for you. Now you talk about countertops, same thing. Other thing here, if you have new sink, new faucet, and you have shop online, I assume that this is probably supposed to go to a link somewhere. So go ahead and link that out. Or better yet, just remove it, because you really want to limit the amount of links you have going away from your website, because it can hurt you when it comes to search engine optimization. You got your Instagram stuff there. I don't know if you have a Facebook page too, but you want to make sure that you have a link to your Facebook page. Get in touch. You have text us here, but see, the problem is this is not clickable. I can't click on it. So if I'm on my phone, I'm not going to be able to text you. I'm going to have to write in your number. So making that clickable, also making this down here clickable. I don't know if both numbers are necessary in the same area here, but either way, regardless, make sure that you get them clickable. And then here you have your contact form. I'd probably try to move this up to the top a little bit, because at the end of the day, when you send somebody to your website, whether they find it on business card or they find it online, the number one goal is for them to reach out, whether it's by phone, by email, or by a contact form. So making it very accessible for them would be great. So and then you have a map down here, which is great. Got their address. Once again, this number here is not clickable. I'd click that, and that's pretty much what you have going on. So as far as your website's concerned, I ran this scanner, and what this tells me is basically what your website's telling the search engines what your website's all about. So your title tag here, this is probably the most important part of your website, because your title tag is basically saying, hey Google, this is what my website's all about. And so as you look here, you want it between 10 and 70 characters. You have 77 right now. Marvelous Works, custom kitchen cabinets and countertops, which is great because those are your three main keywords. But then you have Marvelous Works here again, which is making you exceed the 70 characters. The other thing I noticed is you have a dot and you have a dash. So I assume what's going on is that it's taking your website name, Marvelous Works, your domain, and then it's adding in what you would put here. So what I would do is remove the first one. Excuse me. I'd remove the first one here, and then just have custom kitchen cabinets and countertops. And then maybe instead of a dot, doing the line, and maybe putting Houston, Texas, and then another line, and then Marvelous Works. That way, what's going to happen is Google will see custom kitchen cabinets and countertops is going to be what you're focusing on, or at least what you're telling them that your website's all about. Secondly is your meta description. So if you come down here, kitchen contractor in Woodland, specializing in cabinet resurfacing, cabinet painting, quartz countertops, all this stuff right here. It's good, but I would kind of just add a little bit more content. You have 161, you're allowed 320 characters. So I would just add a little bit more instead of just having the bullet points, maybe actually, write out a couple sentences. I think that would be great. And so what this does is if somebody was to search, if you were to search for Marvelous Cabinet, Marvelous Works cabinets, your website comes up. So this is what, the title tag that we talked about right here, Marvelous Works custom kitchen cabinets. Marvelous, see how it's gotten cut off here. So that's why you want to change that. And then here's your meta description. So when you look here, right here, kitchen contractor Woodlands, you see that right here. So you want to go ahead and add some more content there for sure. So next thing we do is we come down here to the H1 tags, and you do have a one-page website, which is fine. If you do decide to add service pages and go into more depth, that's probably something I would suggest. We'll get there later. But as for right now, every page on your website, you want to have only one H1 header tag, and basically that tells Google, hey, this page on this particular website is about this. And since it's your home page, you probably want this top one here, Marvelous Works custom kitchen cabinets and countertops. So what you need to do is change these affordable kitchen upgrades and cabinetry to either H2, probably H2s, because they do support ultimately your H1 tag there. So make those H2s, they'll fit in right here, and that will definitely help. So last but not least, it looks like you have 10 images on your website, and 5 of them are missing alt attributes. So that means that anytime you have images, you can go in and you can actually label your images. And what we like to do is add them as keywords. So kitchen cabinetry, Houston, Texas. Custom cabinets, Houston, Texas. Custom kitchen, Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas custom cabinets. Those types of things is what we try to do there. It just helps with your keywords on your website. So I ran this report, and what this report here tells me that you have roughly 494 words on your homepage. So you use countertops 14 times, call 11, cabinet 11, have your phone number there 10 times, kitchen 9. Most websites that we deal with, especially the ones that we get on page 1 of Google, they typically have anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 words of content. What that does is that allows us to be able to put in the proper keywords that we want and that we want to target without it being stuffy. And last thing we want to do is we don't want it to sound like we're keyword stuffing, because then we'll get in trouble by Google and it actually hurts you more than help you. So adding maybe 1,000 more words here to your content, I think would be great. And then the other thing I talked about briefly was your service pages. So you have cabinetry and countertops, right? So maybe actually making service pages, making this a whole new page where you have this is the cabinetry that you talk about, but talk about each one of these and add a little, a couple sentences to each one. That's just only going to be beneficial for you. You have articles here, which is, I think, your blogs, which is great. You might want to change that to blogs. Everybody knows what a blog is. And then what I'd also do is add a contact tab, and just put your contact information there, because sometimes if people come to your homepage and they'll say, okay, contact, click it, go to your contact page and submit some information. So in any event, I hope you found this Hope you found this informational. I really appreciate you reaching out. If you'd like to talk further about, what some options might be, or, how we might be able to help you out, that'd be great. So thanks again, and have a good night.